Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Wednesday weekly live stream. So every week on Wednesday, we're live to you guys with all kinds of information. And this time we're going to be talking about brand new AMD cards that we have. So you might have seen them already at Computex. Also during our Computex stream, we talked a little bit about it. But today we're going to be telling you a lot more in-depth information and the idea behind these cards. And also I'm going to be showing you actually some of the hardware inside them as well. So quite exciting. If you have any questions, let us know in the chat and I'll keep an eye on it. I've got a laptop like hidden behind here so you guys can't see it. But I'll try my best to keep an eye on the questions. If there's any good questions there that I think might be interesting, you know, to show you guys on stream or to talk a little bit more about, I'll be highlighting them. And also later on in the stream, we've got a special guest from AMD joining, but I'll get into that in a minute. You can also ask questions to him if you want. So let's start. So we've got a brand new series. So last week I also kind of flashed the card, and again, this might look similar if you've seen Computex already. Brand new cards, and they'll only be for AMD at the moment. So you know, they're called Mech 2, like a mech, like, you know, big war power suit basically. Yeah, we introduced these not long ago. And I first want to go into a little bit about why we're introducing a new series, because, you know, you guys probably know our gaming and armor cards, maybe even the old Lightning cards on AMD, you know, they were great as well. And definitely, you know, we also really like those cards still. But we started with gaming in around 2013, I think. That's already quite a few years ago, right? And what happened in the years after that is that pretty much everybody was, well, you can say copying, but, you know, everybody's using gaming now. So basically, when we go to events and people talk to us, they always say, you know, explain to us the difference between your gaming and another person's gaming card, or, you know, another brand. And it's very difficult because gaming is becoming such a, you know, big diluted marketing term that we really had a very specific idea when we started with these cards, and our cards still are the embodiment of that idea today. But we really felt like, you know, everybody's using gaming now, so it's not really easy to define what is gaming anymore. So yeah, we think it might be time for the next best thing, you know, or you know, a next new thing, let's say. So we need something new. And of course, you know, it's not to say that the gaming will completely disappear, because it's a concept that we still really like, and we can still develop further. But we also, you know, don't want to tie ourselves down to one concept. So that's why, you know, for AMD, we thought, okay, why don't we introduce something new, and at least take the first steps towards, you know, some brand new innovations in the future. Because part of this concept is also that, of course, we're going to be starting with a lot of, well, familiar concepts, you know, proven technologies that we know that work and that we know are good, because of course we also want to guarantee that the card itself functions really well and gives you the performance that you need, and also the thermal performance, you know, so cool and silent, that you come to expect from MSI. So but we also want to look into new concepts, because MSI is an innovative brand, you know, we are innovators. Like I said, we were the first guys to start with the gaming thing, with Lightning, so we want to keep that up. So basically, this is like a first step towards a brand new concept. So it might be that it'll continue to be called Mech. It might be in the future that there's going to be different series as well with different names. On this subject as well, you know, we want to know what you guys think about this as well, obviously, because you know, we've got ideas. I'm a gamer myself, you know, so I always want to make sure that it's something that I would want, but your opinions are just as important to us. So if you have any input, suggestions, you know, why not? You can always tell us, and perhaps, you know, next generation of products, you might see something there that you suggested. You know, how cool is that? Anyway, so basically, this means that towards the future, we're pushing ourselves towards even more innovation. And this is a bit of a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, that's really cool because that means that there's going to be, you know, new thermal technologies, maybe new features, new ways of, you know, maybe we'll make a really tiny card at some point, or maybe we'll make it as big as possible with ridiculous features. So that's really cool. On the other hand, we've also heard people saying it's getting kind of confusing because you have so many series and it's hard to keep them apart, and I don't really know which one to choose. So, you know, that's also something to consider. So, you know, let us know which side you guys are leaning more towards. If you're more on the side of, yeah, give me more innovation, you know, give me more variation, I want more to choose, or if you're more on the side of, there are already so many cards at the moment, I'm getting confused, I don't even know what to choose anymore. So we're kind of curious to know how you think about that. Then also, why did we choose the name Mech? Because, you know, it's kind of a name that at least I haven't seen anywhere before. The story behind it is that, of course, mech suits are already for a long time featured in games. For example, Mech Warrior series. That's one of the biggest examples I can tell you right now. But also in movies, you know, Pacific Rim, all kinds of other movies. And next to that, they're meant to be, you know, really huge and awesome looking war machines that are just overpowering on the battlefield. And we thought, well, you know, that's kind of what we want people to think of our graphics cards as well, you know, a new series that is really powerful and it's like the ultimate thing on the battlefield that will give you the upper hand, or at least, you know, people will be basically in awe of, oh, holy crap, you've got that graphics card, so that must be good. And also, of course, mechs are high tech, you know, they're really advanced technology suits. And so we also thought, well, you know, there's an obvious link as well. But also, mech, you know, in terms of armor, which, as you can see on the back plate, you know, we also wanted to make sure that this card is suitably armored. So yeah, there's lots of things that you know, have like similarities basically in the concept of mech. But I think the most important thing as well is that a mech is not an automated robot. It cannot function by itself. It always needs a person driving it. And the same is true for our graphics cards. You know, we just make the hardware, but you guys are the persons doing stuff with it, you know, doing awesome games, awesome clutches. So really the heart of the whole thing is you. So, you know, maybe that's a little bit touchy-feely, but yeah, it's one of the things that we thought, you know, yeah, I mean, that it is kind of true. You know, without you, this hardware would be meaningless, you know. So that, I'm already seeing some questions, by the way. I'm deaf. Is the... do you mean that you need subtitles, or do you mean that the sound is too loud for you? MSI to do the game. I'm gonna do a game later on, actually. So if you want to stick around, I'm gonna be showing you some gameplay on this very card. How does the cooler compare with the Twin Frost design? Excellent question. So I think it might be nice to show you a little bit inside. So I've got this is like a finished card, which we're actually going to be using later on in the stream in this PC right here. However, what I've also got here is I've got one of the detached thermal modules. So as you can see, it's I'm not sure if it's actually from this card or if it's from, let's see. Yeah, it is from this card. I was thinking, because we have got two, of course. We've got the RX 580 Mech card, but also the RX 570. So this is actually from the RX 580, because yes, they are different, the thermal designs of each card, because each card has a different power wattage of heat that it produces. And based on that, we will always look at, okay, what does this card need to be cool, and also make sure that it doesn't get too loud if your card has to cool it. So the better the cooling solution, the more silent your card will be, and the better your performance will be, simply. So basically, this is the same cooling, as you can see. And when I turn it around, that's basically where the magic happens. Of course, apart from the fans, which are at the moment the same fans, the exact same Torx 2.0 fans that we use on our gaming series. So these are the same award-winning fans, I would say, that, you know, beat pretty much all other brands in terms of the balance of keeping a good temperature and staying silent. With the double ball bearings as well, so they're very durable and they won't give up on you pretty much no matter how long you game. But behind this plastic cover and also the fans is where kind of like the magic happens, I would say. So this is the inside of the thermal module, and what you see here is a whole stack of fins. These are aluminum fins, of course, and of course the heat pipes that you can see running through it. And they run through this area here, and this block is actually where the GPU sits. So this, these heat pipes that you can see here, these copper bits, that's where the GPU actually touches the heatsink, and where the heat basically is being spread out all across this piece of metal, and then the air being pushed through it by the fans make sure that the air is dissipated, basically. So yeah, it's just gotten rid of, and that really helps to keep your card really cool. Also, you might see a little bit around the block here as well. It has a bit more space because obviously the GPU is actually really tiny compared to this block. So why is this block so big? That's because the memory modules that are embedded basically around the GPU, they're also being covered by this block. So this block also helps to keep those cool. And then you've got the VRM, so that's like the power module. You know, with cards these days, you've got an extra power connector at the back. So it's not just the power that it draws from the PCIe slot, but you also get the power from the back. This one actually, you know, just one 8-pin, so it's not that bad. We've got a lot of other cards with at least 2 8-pins, but yeah, so the VRM, so that's where all the power module stuff goes on. So as you can imagine, while you're gaming, that will also get quite hot because that's where all the power draws from that the CPU, the GPU needs, and the memory as well. So that also needs cooling. So that's basically what you see a little bit. Let me just quickly have a look. Yeah, so that's basically what you see. There's these are like thermal pads. Normally there'll be more thermal pads on here, and as well, mostly also on the heat pipe as well here. So these will be directly touching the power module components to help keep them cool. So yeah, it's a really solid piece of cooling technology, I should say. Also, this is really hard to see, but in some of our previous videos we highlighted as well. In the fins that you can see here, and it's like a massive array of fins, you can look through it like that. There are like little indentations in the side. So when I hold it like this, you would be able to see it. Not quite sure if maybe I can hold it a little bit closer. But near my finger, you can see a little bit of a shape there. And that's basically, it's an indentation. So on the reverse side, it's like punched in basically, and on this side it protrudes a little bit. And what that does is it creates a little bit more surface area here near the heat pipes, and it basically, the air bounces off it a little bit and is steered in a certain direction, which in this case usually is directly onto the heat pipes, because that's where the most concentrated heat is basically. That's, you know, they're touching the GPU. They get the most hot. Also, when you got a card running in your PC, you don't want to be touching, especially when it's running benchmarks or a game, you don't want to be touching these fellas here because they get really hot. But yeah, so that's pretty much where the most of the cooling is needed, of course, because that's where the most heat is concentrated. So that's where we try to focus most of the airflow so that you get rid of the heat. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's very technical if you want to get into more depth, but that's pretty simple, right? Cooling indeed. This card have LED lights? Yes, it does. So that's another great question. You can see on the side here, I'll just get the card. Maybe it's better this way. On the card itself, on the side, you see the MSI logo here. That's where we've actually included an RGB LED. Now, you might notice that both the front, the side, and the back have red elements, like our gaming cards as well. We've done this because it's AMD, guys. It's their color. So yeah, we couldn't make a brand new AMD card without using their color as well. Next to that, it's kind of, you know, one of the beloved colors of a gaming card as well. Even though we're not calling it gaming, you know what this card will be used for. I don't have to tell you. So yeah, that's pretty much about these cards. And again, you know, like I said, there are some technologies in here that we already use and are well tried and tested in our current generation of cards. And we'll also keep developing all kinds of new cool features within this concept. So it's like a first stepping stone towards way more diversity and way more new, new stuff. Right, let's see. I want this card. That's nice. That's nice. It's a cool background. Yeah, I'm in front of a green screen indeed. So if you're wondering if this is my bedroom or something, I mean, yes, there is a bed there. It's not real. If I try and go and lay down on it, I'll tear a hole in the green screen. So let's not do that. So yeah, basically just a green screen, a studio, if you will. Okay. Basically, that covers most of the technical side of the card. What I can also tell you is that the LED can be controlled by gaming app. So the MSI gaming app is supporting these cards as well. So you'll also have the 3 performance profiles, which means that you can instantly, with one click, have overclocked performance. So we'll include an overclock mode with the highest clock speeds possible on these cards. You'll have a gaming card, which is like the best balance between performance and silence. And a silent mode, which I don't know if any of you guys ever used it, but it's meant to, you know, for if you're only having light usage and you want to make sure that the card doesn't ramp up or doesn't use any more power than it has to. It's like a low power mode basically. All right. Oh yeah, and you can also, of course, synchronize the LED light with your other peripherals or components that have LED in your case through the MSI Mystic Light application. Other than that, you know, I don't think I have to explain to you guys. It's Polaris, it's RX 580 and 570. So, you know, these have been on the market for quite a while. But just to be sure and to give you a practical example, later on, I'm also going to build into this PC and I'm going to show you firsthand the performance that you can expect. But before we get into that, I'm going to see if we can get in touch with our special guest for today. We've got somebody from AMD connected straight from Canada, if I'm correct. So I'm just going to put in my ear so I can actually hear him. So Indy, are you there?
Hello, Peter.
Hey,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So let's see if the chat can hear you as well, just to be sure. Chat, can you hear Indy? Right, let's just start and see if it's okay. All right, so well, welcome to the stream and thank you for joining. First of all,
thank you, Peter. Thanks for having me.
What time is it there? Did you just get out of bed?
It's like 10:30 in the morning. So
oh, that's
I've been
not
up for
too
a little
bad.
bit.
That's not too bad. All right.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, we've talked before, obviously, but you know, for the viewers, who you are, what you do within AMD.
Yeah, sure. So I've been working with the Radeon product team for a little over a year now. We look after the health of our graphics card product line from the beginning to the end of our life cycle. So that means going over the product definition, performance benchmarking, marketing, and product retirement. And we always work with our AIB partners like MSI to make the cards that gamers want.
Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so, what kind of products do you deal with most? As in, you know, is it mostly the high end, the low end, the special cards? Do you also deal with your reference design, for example?
Mm-hmm. So our team deals with our entire graphics card lineup. Me personally, I focus more on the RX 540 and RX 530. But yeah, we like to send our AIBs with our best foot forward. So we're looking at the 570 and 580 today. Am I right?
Yeah, that's completely correct. Yes, so the higher end indeed. Of course, because yeah, I mean you want to be gaming, so
exactly
you want the best performance. All right. what can you tell us about? I mean, how is your relationship with AMD and MSI? Because yeah, I mean, there's been a lot happening lately. Unfortunately, we haven't introduced, like, for example, a custom Vega card. But how do you view the relationship between AMD and MSI? Can you tell a little bit about that?
Right. Well, AMD and MSI have been partners for a long time, right? We had the R9 290X card that you guys released
The
a while
Lightning.
ago. The Lightning, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's sold really well.
That one was
And
epic. It broke all the
yeah,
records.
exactly.
So yeah, yeah.
And recently, with the Polaris architecture, you guys released the gaming and the armor lineups, which
Yeah.
sold incredibly well. And now you have today to show us the Mech 2, which is the newest in the family of RX 570 and RX 580.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, basically, our aim is to make this maybe even better than gaming at some point. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I could totally see that happening in the future.
I
It
mean,
looks great.
thanks. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing, and really looking forward to working with you guys as well, because obviously, you help us out with testing and seeing what works best. All right, so let's see. How do you see also the importance? Because obviously you deal with your reference cooler, for example, as well, and those are usually the blower coolers that we call them. They just it's like a mini wind tunnel basically, so they just blow the air right out of the card, but they only have one fan. So
Right.
how do you view the diversity of cards? I mentioned this before to the viewers as well, because we're kind of taking a step to diversify our portfolio even more for graphics cards. How do you view that?
Well, I think it's great that we have a lot of different AIBs working almost like against each other, providing competition against with products, and it really brings out a lot of different and unique designs of different cooling solutions onto the market.
Right.
And I really think that's great, especially for the consumer, because I can go out to a store and have a choice of 10 different graphics cards. 10 different designs for the same graphics card, and I think that's simply amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to agree with there. I mean, being a gamer myself as well, I think the choice is really important, and not just the design. I mean, that's one thing, and it's becoming ever more important with cases that have the glass panel windows, obviously, but also I think the feature set and the thing that you mentioned about the competition. I mean, sometimes it's hard for us because it's a very competitive market indeed, but it does push us every day to try and come up with new ways that we can add benefits to the experience. We can improve the experience, not just the product itself, but also everything around it.
Exactly. I think it's a fantastic idea to stay very pro-consumer, giving people choice.
Yeah.
These designs with the axial fan instead of the blower fan are great for all those DIY systems where people just want to put their own graphics card into a case that they, a system that they built themselves.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, now I'm just gonna improvise a little bit also, because what is I mean, you've seen the card as well, the Mech 2. So I want your personal opinion. I want your personal opinion. What do you think? I mean, and again, if you say personally red is not my color, that's fine. So let me know, what do you think?
My team was actually able to see the card at a PDX LAN party in Portland, cool. And I think the card looks fantastic. It has a really aggressive design to it, with all the angles and everything.
Yeah.
The torque span, it's I don't know how it performs, but I'm sure it's gonna be very silent because of the awesome cooling solution you guys have on it. You mentioned the red and black color scheme you have on the card. It does fit AMD's the Radeon Technology Group's color scheme, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the RX 580 has always been a great card, a great choice for serious competitive gaming.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely for competitive gaming, indeed. I mean, even for some, I think even PUBG, some would hesitate to call it competitive because it might not be as stable as it is. But then again, they do have tournaments, and I'm going to show that later. But that's one of the more demanding competitive titles, I would say. So yeah, I mean, when you're looking at that, yeah, definitely the 580 is something that can give you all the performance you need.
Right. I think it has a lot of cool designs to it. It has a backplate, right?
Yes.
That RGB lighting. These are all small little features that, although it might seem insignificant, I think gamers would really like to see it in their system. Everyone loves to pimp out their PC. They always want to get that eye candy in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, and yeah, like I said, I remember back when those cards were just green pieces of PCB, and they had a little, like a really tiny fan cooler on it, which made a really high pitched squeaking noise.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're gonna spend so much money onto a graphics card, you might as well make it look good, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. You want your money's worth. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Thank you. I also want to probe a little bit and see if I can get anything out of you in terms of what we can expect in the future. So maybe a little bit of a safer thing, which is already out there, is FreeSync and more specifically FreeSync 2. I don't know if all the viewers know what it's about, so maybe you can start by explaining the difference between the two.
Yeah, sure. So there's a common problem in gaming. I'm sure a lot of our viewers are aware that FreeSync solves, and that's screen tearing. And when you're playing a game, the images don't exactly line up perfectly. We have a lot of FreeSync monitors on the market that pair with AMD GPUs to solve that problem. I think we have over 350 different monitors on the market for that. This is a wide choice of FreeSync monitors. FreeSync 2 is our new iteration on the technology. It introduces some HDR support. That's a high dynamic range, which basically means that there's better contrast, and your reds are going to be redder and your blues are going to be bluer.
Okay, cool. But just to be clear, is FreeSync 2, it's not going to replace FreeSync, right? I mean...
No, it's not.
Right.
So they're going to actually be parallel onto the market. You can choose either or FreeSync 2, depending on your requirements and your budget.
Right. So it just depends what the monitor basically supports. So a monitor, we've got some new monitors on the market this year as well, and they support FreeSync. But in the future, I'm quite sure we'll be having monitors that support FreeSync 2 as well. But to do that, they need HDR support at the very least. But there are more things, right? So HDR is one of them. And what were the other two? Can you help me out here? Low latency, I think.
Let's see. There was the low latency.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So just to optimize the latency so that you get the frames to the monitor just as quick as possible. That there's because some people know when you enable VSync, vertical sync, even though yes it eliminates tearing, it will also give some kind of feeling of like a little bit of a delay, and that's why a lot of people still don't. They'll put up with the tearing just for the sake of that.
Yeah, it's really annoying, especially if you're playing some competitive games like esports, CSGO, Overwatch. If you feel that little delay, it really throws you off on your aim.
It's just unacceptable, really, when especially when you're in that scene. Yeah, and I think also the lower range of FPS, right? So most games, and especially we always say, hey, you need, or you should aim for at least like 60 FPS, or if possible in FPS games, 144 hertz and FPS, for example, because it's way more smooth. But for a lot of games that aren't like fast paced, anything in the lower FPS range, and also with higher resolutions, you kind of have to, at the moment at least, support the lower FPS range as well. So that's also what I think what FreeSync 2 does.
60 FPS used to be quite acceptable, and it still is really acceptable for a lot of games today. But it's becoming more and more of the gold standard that 144 hertz is what everyone's aiming at.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I had a few streams back as well when I kind of was talking about this and advising one of our viewers, because he was talking about it, and I told him it's one of those things. Once you go to 144 hertz and you've been using that for a while, if you go back to 60. You're gonna have a bad time, You
can't go back. Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. And what about? I mean, I've been seeing in the chat some people going crazy as well with a new Vega card. Vega. I think they said 69. Haha. Nice.
Oh yeah. Nice.
But
Vega 69.
Yeah, Vega 69. But I mean. Is there anything you can say about like new GPUs on the horizon, what we can expect, or in what kind of time frame?
Unfortunately, we don't really have anything new to present at the moment, but we're always working on something in the horizon, so keep tuned.
All right, yeah, all right. Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, we can't wait as well because Vega itself was a really nice step. I think, especially because of the quantities that were available, we decided not to go with a gaming card as well. I saw some questions in the chat pop up like, when can I get my Vega gaming card? Unfortunately, guys, we didn't do it for two reasons. One, when Vega launched, the demand was so big that we couldn't get sufficient quantities to, get a product line up and going. We just couldn't produce enough of them. And secondly, the room to overclock the Vega chip at that point, we also want to add or provide you with added benefit. And some of that is, of course, better cooling, which we can always do. But some of that is also higher clock speeds, for example, than reference versions. And for the Vega chips, as we had them at the moment, yeah, I mean, it was very hard to offer higher clock speed because those chips were they're already really fast, but it didn't have that much headroom to be overclocked on air cooling. So yeah, we thought, then it's not really, I don't want to say fitting within our reputation, but we really thought, well, then either we do it right or we don't want to do it. So at that point, we were kind of forced to say, okay, unfortunately, let's see, maybe later on we can do it, but for now, not yet. So that's why I'm very excited to see what the future brings, because these AMD cards, I was always a really big fan, and also with the like the one you mentioned, that Lightning, man, that was epic. So I want to see some of that stuff, more of that stuff in the future. So really looking forward to that. Let's see if we have some other questions in the chat for you. Question: what is the difference between gaming X, Armor, and Mech cards? Haha, very good question. I've also had a stream about that a while ago, and basically I'll start with gaming X and Armor because those are concepts that have been around for a bit longer. Mech kind of fits in between, I would say, for the moment at least. So gaming and armor cards are actually not that different. I mean, they look very different, yes, but in terms of performance, you can expect pretty much the same, as long as you're choosing the same type of GPU. So for example, if you've got an RX 580 Gaming X or an RX 580 armor card, you can expect pretty much the same performance. The difference is in the looks, of course, because the armor card will be black and white and the gaming card is black and red. And also, the armor card has, I would say, like, I hesitate to say bells and whistles, but you know what I mean. All the extra features like an LED light, a backplate, a little bit, all those extra software support, like the gaming app. The armor cards aren't supported by the gaming app. So if you don't really need all those extras and you also don't feel like paying for them, then the armor card is a really good choice for you because you will still get pretty much the same performance out of it. The fans will have to work maybe just a little bit harder, but it'll still be pretty silent regardless. The gaming card is just pretty much like the best that we can offer with all the features and all the extras thrown in. So that's pretty much the difference between those two cards. The Mech, like I said, it kind of fits in between a little bit, but to be honest, it's way more closer to the gaming X concept than the armor concept, I would say, because as you can see, it has the LED, it has the backplate, it is supported by the software with the profiles, with the gaming app, and it also has, pretty much all the thermal stuff going on, like the Torx 2.0 fans and the premium, the durable ball bearing fans. So those are really the things that you're looking for in a card, in a high quality card especially. So I hope that helps to clarify a little bit how you should see the positioning. Let's see. Armor versus gaming is just the looks, not higher endurance like super durable capacitors. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. I mean, yes, it's for the looks if you're looking at the outside. And the inside, it's safe to say that's why I'm saying the performance that you can expect is pretty much the same, because the PCB is actually, like, I think it's the same actually, so you can expect the exact same performance. The difference is mostly in the cooling solution a little bit and the way it looks. And of course the software support. So again, you know, the gaming version is like the deluxe version, I would say. So it's more like all the little benefits and all the little extras. But if you're only interested in the performance and you don't really care that you have a bare PCB that you're looking at once you put it in the case, yeah, I mean, then Armor is a great option for you. As it is, FreeSync has a very wide range of quality of displays. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Question for AMD. Let's see. Will we see non-HDR FreeSync branding that specifies targets such as LFC, FreeSync range, color accuracy, and minimum refresh rate and/or response time? Whew, that's a tough one.
That's a lot of words.
Did you catch it? Maybe I can repeat it for you.
It sounds like you just described what FreeSync 2 exactly is, right? You want less latency, higher dynamic range.
Well, I think what he means is, if I'm reading this correctly, but correct me there in the chat if I'm wrong, he wants to see a FreeSync branding, basically, that sets a standard, I think. You know, that says, hey, you need to not only support FreeSync, but also have like a minimum range of color accuracy, minimum refresh rates, and or response time. So that it's like linked to a certain, I would say that it becomes like a more of a quality stamp, if you know what I mean.
Oh, right. Well, FreeSync itself doesn't really have that that constraint, because all it's concerned with is the technology of syncing up the frames, so we eliminate tearing. But FreeSync 2, because part of our selling points are to add in that HDR feature, add in that the latency reduction. We'll see more of that quality in FreeSync 2 as it comes onto the market.
Cool, cool. And I think he just gave, the same guy I think just gave a suggestion as well. He says, well, basically he means indeed FreeSync 2, but without the HDR support, and call it FreeSync Plus or something, because you know, FreeSync 2 already raises the bar a bit. Indeed, you know, it already encompasses more things. So basically, he wants to see something in between without the HDR support.
Interesting.
Could be an interesting idea.
I'll note it. I'll write it down and look at it. Yeah.
We'll see if our monitors can support it. We'll slap it on there.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So yeah, thank you very much. I think we're gonna leave it here for the interview, and I think we're just gonna see if we can go into some gaming action as well. So thank you very much for joining, Indy.
Thank you, Peter, for having me.
Yeah, let's see what we can do in the future, but very much looking forward to it. So yeah, maybe we'll see you again in a future stream with some new products.
Excellent, excellent. I look forward to seeing some of your gameplay.
Cool, cool. All right, well, don't look too hard, you know, don't judge.
All right, I try not to.
All right, cool. Well, thanks, man, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
See you for now. Okay. So yeah, that was Indy from AMD, so that's really cool. So now, if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to see if I can make a fool out of myself by building the card into the PC for you guys. I think we're going to show the specs of this PC on the screen for you, so you can see exactly what this system is made of. Actually, this system is an MAG pylon, so that's one of our latest new case. Let's see if I can just get it a little bit closer here, so you can see a bit more of it. I've opened it up. Normally there'd be a tempered glass panel right here. There's a tempered glass panel on this side as well. You can maybe hear it. So you can see pretty much everything in the system. There is a Ryzen 2400G in there, which means that it already has a Vega 11 chip inside the CPU. So pretty much if I would turn this system on, I could already do some stuff with it. I think we had a stream a while ago where we demonstrated you can also play, like, for example, Quake Champions, I think we played with it. For PUBG, however, it might be a bit heavy. So that's why I'm going to build this bad boy in. It's also based on our X470 Gaming Pro Carbon AC. So that's perfect for when you have a build and you want to accentuate all the LED, the RGB LED, because there's no like dominant color in there. Let's see if I can show you guys a little bit more here. So it has nice carbon elements on there as well. Yeah, so I'm going to be building the card that's mentioned there, which is the RX 580 Mech 2 OC version as well. We've got 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB memory in there, which you'll see light up as soon as I flip the switch. And only actually we're only gonna be using the M.2 SSD because, you know, we want the fastest speeds for this. So there's that. As a monitor, that one is actually located at the moment below the table here, or else you guys couldn't see me. So once I'm done building it into the PC, my lovely colleague Mike, who you may have seen last week's stream, will help me set up the monitor, and then we'll flip to a webcam as well, so you guys can see me instead of staring into the backside of our monitor, which is quite nice, but, you know, not that nice. All right, so let's do it. Maybe like a Benny Hill theme song would be nice. No, just kidding. Right, so actually, also for you guys, if you're watching and you've never built in a graphics card before and you think, ooh, that's quite scary because I don't really know how to do that, it's actually quite easy, and I'll show you how to do it. So basically, you've got your motherboard right here. Inside the PC basically already built in. Usually there will be a card in there, in one of these slots basically. Here, for us, they're silver or metal basically, because we've made them extra strong for heavier cards. So you might have to take the existing card out before you upgrade it. And there are some power connectors here as well. And in the back you'll have what's called well, upgrade slots basically, or expansion slots I should say. So I've actually, once I hold my hand here, you can see that 2 of them are already removed. These are removable slots basically. So once you want to put stuff in your PC, like a graphics card, like another PCI, like a dedicated audio sound card, or, you know, a RAID card for extra memory, that's what these slots are for, the PCIe slots, and there are multiple on each motherboard. So you take the little expanders out that for the slots that you require basically, where you see my fingers sticking through here. And you make sure that everything else is pretty much out of the way, and of course your PC should be off before you start, by the way. Should have started with that, sorry. I've actually managed to maybe break something here. It's like a little cover, a rubber cover in the case. I'll just put that aside for now, for cable management. Alright, so basically what we do then is we flip the card off onto its yeah, upside down basically, so with the backplate or the cooler down or the backplate up, and then we line it up with the PCIe slot, of course, or the PCIe connector here, with this slot here, preferably the one closest to the CPU, by the way. That's always the best. And make sure it has yeah, the same size, because there are PCI slots what we call ×1, and these are ×16. That has to do with the bandwidth of the thing. Really complicated. You don't really need to know. It's like Legos. If it doesn't fit, don't push it. So you just align it. I'm not sure if you guys can see it correctly, but you just align it, and there's a little lid there as well, which if you push it in, it will click like so, and that pretty much already holds it. But the little expander slots that you took out at the beginning, they'll have some screws at the side. So, and your graphics card has an I/O panel, as we call it, or a little metal bit sticking out on the back end, and it has some holes in it that can align there with the back side of your case. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm only going to do 1 screw to save some time, but you fix those screws also to give your card more support in the case, so it cannot move around or wiggle around. If you ever go to a LAN party or have to transport your PC, you want to make sure that it doesn't damage. So that's why it's important to fix it into place. So I'll just quickly do that. Here we go. All right. So, and as you can see now, it's already fixed quite a bit more than it was, because at least on this side it can't wiggle. And on this side we're going to connect the power connector. So in this case you need an 8 peg connector, I think we call it, so like 8 pins. So I've already got that here. It also only fits one way, so if it doesn't fit, just flip it around and try it a different way. So there we go. And then for the rest, that's pretty much it for this PC. So what I'll do now, because we also want to make sure that you guys can see the feed, so I'm going to have to connect the monitor and also a capture card to this PC. So see if we can do that for you guys. I'll just put my little gaming setup here as well. So I've got the GK70 here. I have got, actually I'm using the GM10 mouse. And my whole desk has turned into one big giant mouse pad here. So that's kind of cool because I don't need a separate mouse pad for this at the moment. And I'll be using the GH60 headset as well for positional audio. And yep, if you could help me to lift up the monitor. So you guys will see it's the Optics MPG I should say, Optics MPG 27 CQ. So 27 inch Quad HD display. We're only going to be playing at 1080p though, because the stream only supports 1080p. And also it's curved, as you can see, and it has some nice LEDs in the backside. So let me just quickly connect this and also make sure that you guys can capture the image as well here with the HDMI. Luckily, this graphics card has plenty of display connectors. Then I'm going to flip the switch so that actually the system is powered. And let's see, as you can see, that we're going to switch to this camera right here, so you guys will see me instead of the screen, because as you can see, when I pop down, you can't see me anymore, so that wouldn't be that interesting. Let's see if it starts though first, shall we? I see lights. That always makes me happy. And I don't see any smoke, so that's always good. All right, let's see. It's nice and silent. That's always good. Let's see if it boots up. I'm actually not getting the image yet. Oh, here we go. All right. So I'll sit down so you guys can see me now. That's better, I think. No Gamers Nexus mod mat. Actually, we did look into it, but guess what? It was too small for us. Our table is quite big, actually, so that would have been interesting. And I would have loved if Steve could have sent it. But no, we had to actually request like a custom mat with custom dimensions. Never experienced MSI cards, only Asus and Gigabyte. Well, that's too bad, man. Again, you know, if it doesn't fit your fancy, if it's not, you know, your kind of card, or it doesn't really fancy, you're not really tickled by how it looks or the features, fair enough, you know. But then I would love to know, however, you know, what are you missing? Why would you, or why did you never try MSI? Did it just never come up? Was it way too expensive? Were they not available in your region? Yes, I will be using MSI Afterburner, by the way. Yeah, because I'll be able to show you the performance. So let's first see how we're doing. So MSI Afterburner. All right, so we can see it's using the RX 580 card. Yeah, I'll move back a bit. Actually, apparently I was a bit too much in your face. So as you can see, we're using the RX 580 here. So it's registering that. I just put it in. So always need to check when you install a new graphics card. By the way, it's always good to use DDU. I've actually got it still on my desktop here. Driver display driver uninstaller, just to make sure that there's no conflicting drivers. I also did that with this build before switching the graphics card. It just wipes all the drivers that you have installed on the system so that you can just install only the drivers that you need for your graphics card that you're using. Okay, so that's running. I've also included the monitoring. So basically this is the OSD is what you can see when I'm in the game. You'll see an overlay of live statistics of the graphics card, or of the basically anything I select here. So I can select GPU temperature, I've selected GPU usage, front bus usage. There's all kinds of, like, the list goes on forever pretty much. So I've only selected a few things that I think are relevant, especially for the graphics card. So the frame rate, obviously, which I've selected to be a combo of text and a graph, so you can actually see if it goes up and down a lot. And let's see here, fan speed. Yeah, I'll keep that in there. I tested it before, and I'm not sure if it's really clear which one is which, because I'm also GPU usage, so there's multiple percentages in there, but we'll see if we can figure it out. Anyway, neat little tool if you want to figure out what's going on with your PC. Also, if you're running into any trouble that your game's not running very well, this can give you a great idea of what's going on. By the way, before I do this, I also have to do a little trick here so that you guys can hear the sound I'm hearing actually. So let's see if we can get this working. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Stereo mix. Because this is basically... yeah, so the sound is playing on my headset. Of course, I need to be able to hear the game or it'll be very boring. I'll just put it on as well. But by doing this, I'm actually going to be able to listen to this device and send it to you guys. The camera is being adjusted, by the way, so there's not an earthquake here. Don't worry about it. And I should be able to send the sound to you guys like this. So this is like streamer stuff that we had to find out as well. If you're using an external capture card, you have to do these kinds of tricks. If you want to know more about this kind of stuff, by the way, we can also maybe do a stream in the future where we show you more things on, you know, how to set up a stream on your own if you want. Playing For Honor? No, it's not For Honor. This desktop is actually from Ancestors Legacy. So it's a game we played a while ago. We were dressed up like, I think I was a Viking and Eric was there as well. He was like a really old school knight. That was cool. Okay, so let's start up the game. Let me know, by the way, if you guys don't hear any sound, any game sound. I'll have to check again. I can hear it, so that's a good sign. We'll just have to see if you guys can hear it as well. Before I start, by the way, since my last PUBG stream, I was educated a little bit in the terms of what I should put the graphic settings to. If I'm correct, anti-aliasing I've put on ultra now. That's because the edges of all the little details in the screen will be a little bit less jumpy around. So it's easier to spot like what is moving and what is actually not moving, what is stationary. The rest I've also all put on very low, but the resolution, as you can see, is on 1080p. Later on I can also check and what happens if I put everything on high, just so you guys can see how everything runs. However, as you can see also, at the moment I'm getting a nice smooth, this is in a menu of course, but still 144 Hertz or FPS, sorry, which is really nice because I'm playing on a 144 Hertz monitor, so that's what you want to be at. Just to give you an idea as well, here of course is the temperature of the GPU, so that's the RX 580 Mech card. Here's the GPU usage, so basically how much of the performance it's using. So you want to be as close to 99% as possible. That means that your card is being fully utilized. Here's the clock speed it is running on at the moment, and here is, I think this is the fan speed. So as you can see, it also has, I believe, 0 frozzer, which means that below a certain temperature, on this card I'm not sure, maybe might be 55 degrees, not 100% sure, the fans will actually stop. So that means that you'll have no noise, you know, when you're not playing and it's not needed, the fans won't even spin up. And only when it gets above a certain temperature, the fans will start spinning slowly, slowly, slowly. And as the temperature would go up, the fan speed would go up to match it as well, to keep it cool. Right, so we'll just do a mini royale first person solo. And yeah, let's see how this card does. All right, so let's let all the textures load. And of course this is again just the lobby, but see, FPS is going up and down a little bit. But once everything is loaded, it'll be a bit more stable. Oh, this guy is like laying out like a... That's cool. Like laying out a little path. Like of breadcrumbs. You know, the tale of Hansel and Gretel? Yeah, that's kind of what this person is up to. It's cool though. Oh, actually it doesn't collide with other apples, so once it's laying down there, it doesn't really move. Alright. So we're in the plane. I'll just put the rest of my ear cups on as well. Ah, okay, well, Ferdian, I can see there what you're saying, that you have, it's PUBG and a Ryzen system, you have an R5 1600, but you can't get to the main menu, it will suddenly crash. That really sucks, man. If any of you guys have any kind of problem like that or know how to fix it, let them know, because that really sucks as well. Alright, so, let's see, where are we? We have to hurry up. Well, let's just go to Camp Bravo. Let's go. Alright, so sailing smoothly above 100 FPS. That's nice. I see that the usage is dropping up and down a bit though. So it's 99 now, 3%. That's a bit weird. Could be that I still have to reboot the system one more time just to make the drivers really see the card. Because again, I just put it in there and booted up the system. Sometimes a restart can help if you're running into issues. Alright, let's see. So I got at least one guy with me here. I already know I'm gonna probably get shot, but let's just say this stream is about the performance. Oh, level 3 backpack, that's nice. Oh, level 3 there as well. Oh my god. That's like really lucky. See if we can actually... Wow. I don't know what was up with that. Either his aim was really bad. Mine was a little bit off. But, I mean... It's a bit weird. Alright, so this building is probably already done for. So, yeah, let's see, let's check out the FPS. So as you can see, 90, 96. That's plenty. Why am I picking up 7.62 ammo? I don't even have a weapon that does that. Anyway. Let's take first aid. Actually, no. No. We can just do with bandages. That's fine. Let's just wiggle a bit in case there's somebody else here. Let's take a painkiller. That'll top off the rest. Come on. There we go. Okay, so what else we got here? Oh, yes. We need some more ammo for these weapons, though. How are we doing on the circle? Oh, wow. Smack dab in the middle. Alright, let's see. I always prefer the flash hider to the compensator. I get the idea that it'll be harder to spot me because my muzzle flashes are hidden. Oh, yes, sir. Nice scope. I'm getting the idea that they're messing around with the drops in some of these maps or buildings, that they've changed it. Or I'm just getting unlucky because I get the idea that I'm not getting that many drops. Or that many useful things, let's say. No. Yeah, I don't really know why I'm picking these up, so I'm just gonna drop those. But I mean, this feels pretty smooth in terms of how the game feels. So that's always good and nice. I don't know if you guys are seeing, by the way, a lot of screen tearing or something. If you are, let me know. I don't really like this shotgun, so let's take this thing. Yeah, I want to put that on here. Wait, did I have a... Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's for close range. Alright. So let me know if you guys can still see a lot of screen tearing. This is something we've been trying to look into lately. Wow, alright. I did not know he was there. Let me know if you guys are seeing a lot of screen tearing, because we've been experiencing this a little bit. Even like last week, we were playing The Crew 2, and it's capped at 60 FPS, so we thought, you know, if it's capped at 60 FPS anyway, then we might as well enable VSync, even though we're not a big fan of it. But and when we were looking back at the stream, we noticed that they were still tearing, and we were just like, how is this possible? So we're trying to figure that out. But let us know if you guys see that. What core is the new card? So it's using the RX 580, this one, and we've also got an RX 570. That was unfortunate. I think we have time for at least one more game. This time, let's see what happens if maybe turn up the settings a bit, because it's about graphics card performance. So let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Oh, so everything on Ultra, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't know anybody who plays the game with everything on Ultra. But hell, let's just do it. So now it's all the way up to 100% usage. That's nice. It's not just 99% anymore, it's 100%. Maybe if you get like a setting above Ultra, we'll get like 110%. Why is this taking so long? Maybe I'll just try again. There we go. I see someone's posing a very tricky question. He's saying, do you prefer Radeon or GTX? So, AMD or NVIDIA? Yeah, for me, honestly, I've had both of them. You know, like years ago, I've had a lot of AMD cards, and more recently, I've had a little bit more NVIDIA cards. So, pretty much whatever will give me the best experience for what I think as an acceptable price, and of course, a card that I like, both in feature set, but also in, you know, for me, it also needs to have the best balance between performance. And staying cool, and staying silent, because I don't want a leaf blower in my case. So yeah, for me, to be honest, it's whatever's tickles my fancy at the moment and gets me what I want in the game. I actually don't play that many favorites between those two, and that's why I'm really hoping that, because I mean, it's no secret that NVIDIA at the moment in the market is a bit dominant. And, you know, that's because they've just got a really good product as well. AMD have got really good products too. But, you know, they still have maybe a little bit to go to catch up, or to, you know, make a leapfrog again to catch NVIDIA. So I really hope that they do that in the next generation. Vega was already a nice step closer. But yeah, let's see if they can do even more next year, and... or next year, I don't even know when it's going to happen. Maybe that's just wishful thinking. But, you know, I really like the competition, like what Indy mentioned as well, between our AIBs. You know, we might not always like this competition thing between us, but in the end, it does push everybody to create better products. So for the gamers, it only gives better results. And the same is true for competition between, for example, NVIDIA and AMD. You know, when their products are closer together in terms of performance and pricing and everything, it only forces them to try and make it even better. So in the end, it's better for everybody. And I also saw some guys on make comments on mining. Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that the mining craze has died down a bit, because I saw some really ridiculous graphics card pricing in the past few months, and it was a nightmare to get any kind of decent graphics card for like a normal price. So I really like the fact that the mining craze has died down a bit, to be honest. Also because, to be honest, you know, our cards, they're not made for mining. They're not made with mining in mind. So don't think we were happy with it either, because yeah, I mean, these cards, you know, they're really good quality, but they're not like server grade hardware. That means that they can run 24/7 at the highest possible speeds. That's not what these cards are built for. Some nice... I heard that thunder there, and for a second I thought that was actually like here in the studio. My brain couldn't quite wrap around that. But anyway, so yeah, from my personal perspective, I would really like, you know, that competition to continue, or even get a bit better, let's say. Get a bit more close. Let's see if we can backpack. I hate it when I don't have that much space in my inventory yet, so I have to leave stuff on the ground. Did you see the cockroaches on the ground there? By the way, so this is like everything on Ultra, right? I haven't even mentioned that yet, but I've put everything on Ultra now. And, I mean, okay, we're getting like 60 FPS. But that's still acceptable, I would say. I mean, it's the higher FPS, especially in games like this, is better. But this is acceptable, this is playable. I'm not getting the feeling that my response is like really slow or anything. So that's good. Just outside the circle, alright. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more looting done. Yeah, it's desktop cards. So, I don't know what would be the alternative, like notebook cards. But, no. These are desktop cards we were talking about. The last shotgun. See if we can focus a little bit on the game here as well. See, there's not that much interesting in this building. Oh, we actually didn't have a vest yet. That was last game that we had level 3. Extended mag, already got that. No. Lightweight grip. So we actually have 2 weapons in need of a grip, so let's do that. Well, we had some buildings over there that we didn't cover yet. Where's the new VGA card? Oh, actually, I showed it earlier, mate. Actually, this is the cooler of it, if you can see that. It's the Mech card. The Mech 2. Oh, extended quick draw, that's always better. There we go. And some scopes. Nice. So actually, little known fact, and maybe something that you guys don't even care about, but it's called Mech 2 because actually there's also a Mech card, like a normal Mech card, still in the works. I don't know 100% sure if we're gonna be seeing it on the market. I mean, we're still testing if it's like, you know, good enough, and if we can get it to acceptable levels that we deem good enough. But that's why we have a Mech 2 card instead of just Mech. In case you're wondering, because it might be like, okay, Mech 2, so what happened to Mech 1? So it is kind of like a you know, version thing, like version 1, version 2. And this version just happened to come out a lot better at the moment as well. So this one we're confident to show you guys and to basically to sell. But the Mech card, the normal one, is still under development. So it's like a little bit to be determined if we're actually gonna, yeah, if we're gonna launch it or not. So that's a little bit of a background information for you guys as well. That might be nice to know. Not that it helps you right now, in case you're. Oh God, I'm going through the same building. I'm talking too much, not paying attention to the game, and there's a guy there. I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen me yet. Let's see if we can take him out. Oh, you're actually not. There's no game sound. Okay. Wait, let's see if I can first take out this guy, and then I'll let's see if I can. I'll probably have to restart the game. I wanna get closer to this guy because don't want him to get away. Where is he? Oh, here he is. Here we go. Alright, so did you guys hear in-game audio before this, or was it always did it never really show? Because again, this is one of those streamer things, annoying things that can happen. So let me know if there was sound before, because that will help me to determine what's going on and what might be not working at the moment. Will there be more gaming X Trio cards? Well. They were quite successful, so I wouldn't be surprised if there will be. Oh crap! I don't need this. But yeah. It also, I think it depends on, do we need 3-fan cooling in coming cards, you know, in coming generations or not? I apologize, by the way, for the missing in-game audio. I can try and switch out of the game maybe really quickly to see if I can fix it, but where are we? Control panel. See if I can fix it for you before I get shot. But yeah, sorry, to continue with the Gaming X Trio. It's a really good card, but you know, to put 3 fans on a GPU that doesn't really need it, it's, you know, it's a waste of money, and it really doesn't do anything other than make it look really big. Let me see. So yeah, it should be working. Unfortunately, it's not. Alright, well, I'll try to fix it after this game, but probably we'll have to end the stream after that anyway, so... Sorry, guys. There never was sound. Alright, that's unfortunate. That's strange, though. Usually it works. Past few streams it did work. So this is again, is something about streams. You can practice and test things until you drop. But once you go live, stuff happens, you know. Shit happens, and sometimes there isn't that much you can do about it. Nice. See, I heard him. I know you guys didn't, but I did. Alright, let's see what else this guy had. Oh, yes, please. I have plenty of ammo, so don't need that. I'll take that. And alright. Let's get into the circle. Let's see if I get a safe place, I can try and fiddle around with the sound a bit more for you guys. But usually, what we've tested in the past, it would be like we have to like restart the game sometimes. See what happens. I'll just change some stuff and see what happens. Or I could just tell it to give you guys sound. That means I'll only be working on site. Not ideal, if you know what I mean. But let's see. Maybe this will help. I'll leave this open so we can switch again if needed. What do you think of the new upcoming NVIDIA cards? I'm not allowed to talk about it. That's first. Secondly, I don't know anything about it. NVIDIA is being really careful and not providing any information to us. So, oh wow, I'm actually hearing an echo now. I'm hearing sound twice in the game. But anyway, so the thing is, they're being really careful, and I can understand why. Because once they put out the information, their competition, aka AMD, will also know the details. So, you know, they want to be as sure as possible that the whole launch of their cards, whenever they do it, and whatever they are, will be completely in their control, and there's nothing that can interfere with that. So I can understand. If I was in their shoes, I would probably do it the same way. It does, however, make life for us a little bit more difficult, because we can't really prepare much, if you know what I mean. Once, or if they launch these cards, at whatever point they will do it, that means that only from that point on do we have the information that everybody has. And that's when the work for us starts to create custom cards, you know, to see, okay, so what kind of cooling do we want? What kind of features? So then it's like a process that will take, I think, at least a couple of weeks, and if we're unlucky, probably a couple of months even, to create good custom cards. Because also, it's a development process, so it takes time for us to, firstly, you know, we need to create all these materials, we need to create the cards themselves, test them, make sure that they run properly, that they're stable, so that once the cards are in the shop for you guys, they will function properly. They'll do as advertised. And also, you know, we have a reputation based on really good thermal performance, good value, you know, these things, and just an all-around good gaming experience. And we really want to make sure that any product we push out at whatever point can live up to those standards, because otherwise, you know, we'll just end up disappointing you, and that's definitely something we don't want to do. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting time, though. I mean, we're also really looking forward to see, I mean, still the current 10 series is really good, so it's not that we need new cards, but, you know, as a hardware guy as well, and as someone who's been in the industry for a couple of years now, I am also just looking forward to, okay, what did they come up with? What did they manage to do? Okay, so there's a guy there. Is he being shot? I think he knows I'm here. Come on, come out and play. Is he trying to wiggle his way out? Oh, he knows. This is really annoying, though, this like echo sound. Can you... There we go. Alright, see if I can find a safe space again so I can change the sound settings. Are you guys getting sound now? I hope not, because if you're getting the same sound as me, that's annoying as hell. Oh my god, why am I getting a red zone right on top of me? Why? Why do you hate me, RNGesus? Why? Oh, so I have to run first. I don't really want to go into the water, but you know. Whoa! Okay, yeah, that ended it pretty quickly. Sorry guys. Oh, I got 3 kills, so guess it's not all bad. It's not all bad. Alright, so no sound. Again, really sorry about that, guys. Yeah, we'll see if we can fix that. We're actually using a new New capture card now as well, so that might be interfering with each other. Again, it's good if it works. If it doesn't work, not so much. Oh, hey guys, I see we've got somebody from Korea as well, so thank you for joining the stream there. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to end it here for today. So thank you all for joining. Let us know what you think about the new cards as well. Again, you know, it's a really nice step towards a new generation of AMD cards, or, you know, developing new series, new ideas. You know, we're just trying to get back into the swing with new innovations and just crazy ideas. All right, so next week we have a very special stream as well. We're going to be talking about, or actually my colleague Eric, who you know from the streams as well, is going to be talking about the AMD B450 platform, which is one of the latest, no, it's actually the latest platform that came out from AMD. So you might have caught some of the new motherboards as well. And he'll be featuring a guest from our headquarters. So you'll be able to ask questions to one of the technical guys from our headquarters, who'll be able to give you really detailed answers if you want about yeah, you know, all the nitty-gritty technical stuff. And later on in that same stream, I believe he's invited a beautiful young girl who will be helping him to build a PC with the B450, one of the B450 motherboards. So he'll be making a complete build. And I think the goal of that build is to make a PC that can do both gaming and streaming at the same time, which, you know, not that it's very special, but a lot of PCs can do that, but this one can do it really well because of the extra cores. And yeah, they'll be showing you how to do that, how to make that build, and maybe even at the end show you how it runs. But yeah, definitely check out that stream next week. Thank you for joining this week though, and we'll see you guys next time. So have a nice evening and happy gaming.